morning. I'm coming to you from day 2 at the Planetree Conference in Orlando and the Planetree Conference 2019. And I have the distinct pleasure of being able to speak with Kathy Lieblich, who is the Director for Relations for the Pioneer Network. Now, I've known about the Pioneer Network for a long time, but I've never had the pleasure of meeting Kathy. And I really want to share with the good work that the Pioneer Network is doing for people across this country. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Phyllis.
So please first tell us, what is the Pioneer Network and what is your mission?
Okay, so our Pioneer Network is a national, not-for-profit organization, and our mission is to change the culture of aging, care, and support. And we do this through education, public policy advocacy, and providing free resources for organizations that are on what we call their culture change journey.
So how long has the Pioneer Network been around?
Over 20 years,
yeah.
Yes, and it was started by a group of professionals, people working in nursing homes, who did innovative things in those homes that really respected the elders that live there. They were first called the Nursing Home Pioneers and then became their own 501c3 organization as Pioneer Network, which was not just about nursing homes, but changing the culture of aging care and support in all settings wherever elders may live.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So is the Pioneer Network exclusively long-term care elders, or are they long-term care the whole lifespan?
It's elders mostly because it's about changing the culture of aging.
Okay.
But it's also changing the culture of organizations that also serve other people with disabilities, living with disabilities. So it's not always elders,
right.
Of course. And so it's anybody, it's to help anyone who lives in a nursing home or assisted living or continuing care retirement community if they're older, who need care and support.
So I understand there's big doings happening in Pittsburgh coming up soon. Would you like to plug your conference?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So yes, we have a conference every year, and in 2020 it's going to be August 9th through 12th in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at the Wyndham. And our conferences are called the Pioneering a New Culture of Aging Conference each year.
Wonderful.
So, yes. And,
that's terrific. And how about a website?
Yes, our website to find out more about the conference and our resources and our webinars and other things that we do, just go to pioneernetwork.net.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for the work that you're doing. As someone who's had a career in long-term care, I'm very much aware of what the Pioneer Network has done to elevate the level of care, the quality of care, and the dignity for elders across the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Phyllis.
So I have an opportunity to speak with two people here who are representing the Daisy Foundation, and I really do want to put a segment here about the good work that the Daisy Foundation does, because it recognizes the good work that's going on in healthcare organizations around the country. So I have Tina, who is
one of the co-founders of the Daisy Foundation.
Okay, and I have Cynthia, who is a Director of Nursing Services.
I'm the Vice President for Nursing at the Daisy Foundation.
Wonderful. And these lovely gals are here representing the Daisy Foundation. So Tina, can you first tell us, what were your thoughts when you started the foundation?
My family and I started this foundation almost 20 years ago, when my husband passed away from complications of ITP. So DAISY is actually an acronym for diseases attacking the immune system. And very simply put, we wanted to thank his nurses. And that's how it started. And fast forward 20 years later, we now partner with almost 4,000 healthcare facilities across the United States and in 23 countries. They use the Daisy Award to be able to recognize and celebrate their nurses. Gives patients, families, coworkers an opportunity to tell good stories and thank their nurses for the impact that they've made and the difference that they've made.
So is this part of the Magnet Award piece? Is it separate and distinct from that, or are you partners in that?
It's separate, although the Daisy Award program fits into the Magnet application in many different areas. So it's a really good fit with hospitals on the journey or going for already designated if they have the Daisy Award. And Cindy can actually talk a lot about the Magnet connection because she used to work for ANCC.
Right. So Cynthia, tell us, what is your role within the foundation?
So I feel that my role is to bring the visibility and the voice of nursing through what Daisy does.
Okay.
So about 5 years ago, Mark and Bonnie Barnes, who are also co-founders of the Daisy Foundation, approached me about taking on a role as a nursing leader in the organization because they realized here they were honoring nurses, but they had no nurse on staff. And they wanted to make sure as the organization grew that the voice of the nurse was not lost in the midst of their thank yous. So that's my role, is the visibility and the voice. And also as a nurse, we know that all of our practice needs to be embedded in the evidence. And so that was one of my first initiatives, and my real focus was making sure that Daisy did have the evidence to rest on. It's a wonderful program, and no one will doubt the fact that it brings a lot of joy and happiness to many. But we also want to make sure that what we do has substance and foundation in practice. And so the model, basically, is a healthy work environment. So Daisy fits very well with the healthy work environment. 6 components as described by the American Association of Critical Care Nurses in 2005, and then again in 2016, validated the importance of meaningful recognition. And by their definition and the definition of Dr. Cindy Lefton and her work, Daisy fits that definition of meaningful recognition.
Excellent,
So,
excellent. That's wonderful. Well, I can't thank you and your family enough. You talk about taking heartache and heartbreak and turning it into something that is perpetually acknowledging open-hearted living and compassion and empathy. Really, thank you to you and your family for taking your experience and turning it into something so extremely positive.
Thank you. And it's been so meaningful for us because we've met so many amazing nurses throughout the years, and the stories that we get to read are so touching. And so it's been quite a journey, but a very meaningful journey, and I know that Pat would be really proud.
Okay. Do you want to give us a website?
Yes, www.daisyfoundation.org.
Okay.
Check it
Thank
out.
you again. Thank you
you.
so much for everything.
pleasure.
Thanks, Phil.
Well, I have hit a personal jackpot here. I am going to be sharing with you wonderful artistic creations of Barbara Evans. Barbara is a light worker. She is very much into chakras and raising the vibration of people on the planet to promote healing. And her work is exquisite. And I just want to share with you some of the things that she is doing, and certainly some of the products that she has. She does have a website, which we'll talk about, but I want you to follow her on Instagram because her work is amazing. So look at all of these pieces of art, mandalas. Look at the vibrancy of the colors. She does jewelry to raise vibrations. And her website is The Art of Raising Frequency, and that is also her Instagram site. And you definitely want to be able to follow Barbara and her work on Instagram. Look at the colors here. I mean, you can just feel the energy bouncing right off of them. And here's my new friend, Barbara.
Hi.
Hi, Barbara. Listen, I'm just struck by all of this. You know, usually at these caregiver conventions, we often find people who are very dedicated to caring for the people needing care for, but you're really also offering vibrational healing here and raising people's vibrations so that they feel a sense of harmony, regardless of whether the person being cared for or the caregiver.
Correct.
Well,
yes.
that certainly speaks to my soul,
Yep.
sister. It really does. I just purchased Barbara's message of universal wisdom empowering cards, and I picked 2 cards, and would you share with us how that worked?
I will. You actually picked beautiful, beautiful cards.
How about that?
She picked the abundance cards, and this is about creating abundance within your life, but it's also very much more. It's about the expansion of the divine feminine energy, totally supported by the divine masculine energy, helping to create a new earth, helping to create balance of those masculine and feminine energies within our world. And the bottom line on this card is, together we are the sunrise of the new golden age. And that truly is what this work is helping to create. It's a belief in a new earth that is based on peace, balance, beauty, joy, and abundance for all people. And so this helps to balance the energies on a very personal level, and so therefore is very, very good either for the caregivers or for the people who are needing the care.
That's wonderful. I also purchased one of your coloring books. Okay, so I purchased this one, which is Connecting Through the Heart. Okay, and could you walk us through this coloring book?
Yes, the coloring book was created for people who have been through some sort of trauma, and as I move on in my journey, realize that really that is speaking to pretty much everybody who's walking on the planet. We have all been through some sort of trauma. It was very guided in its creation. There is my own artwork on the left-hand page, and then a sort of contemplation or meditation before you start the artwork. And then the artwork for coloring is a sacred geometry image, and it's all in golden light. And coloring this is so different to working with black lines on a white paper.
Yes, of course.
So you're actually connected with this golden healing light while you're coloring, and there's no rules of how you wish to color it. And even if you wish to just like write words in all of these petals, whatever you're drawn to do is perfect. Then there's the opportunity on the next page to do some journaling. And so as the experience and as you work through the book, it takes you through healing your emotions, healing your thoughts, awakening your creativity, awakening your wisdom, hopes, dreams, transformation, a gateway to a new level of consciousness. Abundance, the card from the card deck.
Yes, yes.
Followed by, and this of course is my favorite one, possibilities.
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 Wow. This is just
Totally
wonderful.
unlimited possibilities.
How did you start this, Barbara?
I started, actually my first artwork was done 20 years ago this year. And it started my journey from being a biologist into being what could be called a transformational healing artist. Took place through experiences of my own trauma. And the first part of the journey happened after my father passed away with cancer. And that led me into the discovery of energy medicine. And so for the next 6 years, I studied, first of all, shiatsu, which is a type of body work that works on the acupressure meridians. And then I became a Reiki master, and I also studied crystal resonance therapy. Started to work with patients one-on-one. And then the second major trauma was my sudden passing away of my mother, which led me on another healing journey, and that led me to the discovery of sacred geometry and the beginning of my painting.
Wow.
And so for the last 20 years, I have been putting everything together that I learned through the energy healing into the artwork. So it's almost like having a Reiki session within your home that is constantly transmitting these positive energies into your life. to
Wow,
help
that's
you,
just
to support
amazing. You know, not everyone can take trauma and turn it into possibilities and turn it into something that really is growth, you
Right,
know, and
right.
you don't shut down, you actually expand and open up. And I think that when you begin to process your trauma and you get to a point, a lot of people feel that acceptance is the last point of processing trauma or bereavement. I think there's another step. I think the final step is when you get to a point where you can then share your wisdom with others. I think that's true resolution of trauma.
Right.
And
so-
I just want to
yeah.
congratulate you on
Well, thank you.
navigating that so well and so positively.
And
So-
it was certainly not easy at the time.
Oh, jeepers,
It was
no.
like,
it's
oh no.
never easy at the time. So again, we're talking to Barbara Evans. Her work is at Art of Raising Frequency. That's the name of her website. It's also the name of her Instagram. I really want everybody out there either following her and helping her raise the vibration of everyone on the planet.